Today on Cook's Country, Ashley pulls out the cast iron skillet to make chicken and vegetables. Adam shares our recommended can openers. I tell a great American success story, Hamburger Helper. And Morgan makes Cheeseburger Mac. That's all right here on Cook's Country.
I love cast iron skillets because they're so versatile. They're a frying pan, of course, but also a baking pan, wonderful for pies. And they can also be used as a roasting pan. And to prove that point, Ashley's here, and she's making chicken for dinner.
I sure am. So one of the better things, too, about cast iron skillets is that it retains its heat so well. So when it comes to putting dinner on the table quickly, it is one of my go-to tools.
Great.
Especially with something like the chicken and vegetables we're going to be making today.
Lovely.
So I have a whole chicken here, but first, before I go there, I'm going to make a spice mixture for both the chicken and the vegetables.
Okay.
So this here is 4 teaspoons of kosher salt. If you don't have kosher salt, just cut that amount in half. 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh thyme. 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. 1 teaspoon of pepper. And finally, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, which is going to give us that smoky flavor, but it also colors everything beautifully with that rusty color. So I'm going to mix this up. And like I said, we're going to be using it in 2 different applications. So I'm going to just take a little bit out now. There we go. And I'll leave that for the vegetables.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a chicken here. It's about 3.5 to 4 pounds total. So I'm going to spatchcock the chicken, which is one of those words that I feel people get intimidated by, but it's such a simple technique to do. It simply means removing the backbone. So I like to use kitchen shears. Sometimes people use a sharp chef's knife. But this is the best way for me to gain control and just be able to maneuver around that backbone as precisely as possible.
Yeah, you're just going along either side of the backbone.
Yep. Now, I just like to turn it around just for ease. So don't throw that away. Make sure to put that in a freezer bag and put that in your freezer because it's going to make some delicious stock. I'm just going to flatten the breastbone. All right, so underneath here, I'm going to sprinkle with a tablespoon of that spice mixture from earlier. I love that this recipe calls for this because a lot of times you just think to season the top of the bird, but this will give a little bit of extra flavor and a little extra punch. All right, so I've got some wingtips. I'm just gonna tuck those behind, and that's just gonna prevent those from burning. I'm gonna pat this dry. I'm going to use a sharp boning knife and then just go in between the thigh and the drumstick joint and just make a 1/2 inch slit. And cutting that slit right here between the drumstick and the thigh is just going to hold on to a little bit more of that seasoning. So now I'm going to brush with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and then just going to continue to put the spice mixture over the chicken.
Nice, so that's another
tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons.
Gotcha.
Almost 2 tablespoons. All right, now I'm going to clean up and we will move on to the vegetables.
Great.
Now, before I prepare the vegetables, I'm going to preheat our skillet. As you can see, we have a 12-inch beautiful cast iron skillet here. Now, in order to ensure that all the root vegetables that you have in front of us are going to cook properly and get nice and browned, we want to give this a chance to get good and hot before we add the vegetables onto there. So I've got a 1-pound fennel bulb that I'm going to just start by trimming off the end and then just cut off the fronds right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. Now I'm going to cut this into 1-inch wedges.
nice, right through the root,
Right
too.
through the root, exactly. Just like I did with the fennel, and cut the onion into 1-inch wedges. So those are all prepared. I also have 1 pound of Yukon Gold potatoes, but as you can see, these cute little guys are about 1 to 2 inches each.
Yeah, these are the baby Yukon Golds.
Exactly.
Lovely.
And you don't want them any bigger than that. You want everything to cook at the same rate. I did cut them in half and I left the peel on. And then we have our carrots. These are 2 carrots. I peeled them, cut them in half lengthwise, and then I cut them crosswise as well. So I've got 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil that I'm going to add to the preheated skillet. I'm going to let that go just until we see some smoke starting. Before I add any of the other vegetables, I'm gonna add the potatoes first, and I'm gonna put them in here cut side down.
Okay.
This is gonna help jumpstart the vegetables. It's gonna help to also promote some browning on our vegetables, because as you know, cooking anything under a whole chicken can sometimes steam, and it's not gonna get super brown. But this recipe guarantees really nicely browned vegetables and a beautifully cooked browned chicken. Now I'm gonna put our onion throughout. And now I'm adding the fennel.
Now she's mixing it up.
Now I'm mixing it up. Finally, I'm gonna add the carrots, pepper them throughout. And the last step before I add the chicken, I'm just gonna add this remaining spice mixture over all of the vegetables. Now, finally, I'm gonna add the chicken just directly on top of the vegetables. I have an oven that's been preheated to 425 degrees. The oven rack is at the middle position, and I'm gonna cook this chicken and the vegetables for about an hour until the internal temperature of the chicken breast is 160 degrees and the drumsticks and the thighs register 175 degrees. Ooh, Bridget.
Smelling good.
Looking good. All right. So I'm just gonna take the internal temperature. Again, we're looking for 160 for the breast.
Okay.
Awesome, we're at 162. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer the chicken to the carving board.
Nice.
Yes.
Look at the skin on that chicken.
Oh, I know. Beautifully golden brown.
Oh, look what's down here.
I know, but they're not done cooking yet, and I want them to get a little bit more browning there. So I'm gonna return the vegetables to the oven, and I'm gonna let them cook for about 15 more minutes. I've got one more trick up my sleeve. Lastly, I'm gonna make a sauce. I've got 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna add some herbs, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley, 1.5 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I've got a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of chopped fresh thyme, 1 clove of garlic, a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then finally a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And then world's cutest whisk. So again, we're gonna let those vegetables go for about 15 more minutes. Oh boy. This smells heavenly.
Ooh, look at those. Look at all the juices in the bottom of that pan. Oh my goodness.
We've got some good fond going on. We've got some beautiful browning, and it just smells so nice. I always like to remember to put a towel at the handle of anything that's hot. Don't want to get burned. You don't want anybody else to get burned either. Everything is almost ready. While the vegetables hang out for a minute, I'm just going to carve our chicken. So I like to use some tongs, and just with a sharp boning knife, I'm just going to simply run my knife just like so. And you can tell it is so beautifully cooked because it popped right off.
That is a juicy chicken as well.
All right, now when it comes to the breast, I'm just going to make long slices just along that breastbone. And then, using the tip of the boning knife, continue to run my knife down. I'm going to just slice this breast.
Look how beautiful that skin is too.
Staying intact, which I always appreciate.
Yes.
Okay, Bridget, here is some breast meat.
Oh my goodness.
And a thigh for you. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness,
boy.
look at those potatoes.
Before I do anything else. Yep. And how about a couple carrots for you?
There you go.
I'm just gonna whisk this sauce just to recombine everything. And is it okay if I put it on everything?
I would love that.
All right.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. There we go.
Oh. I don't know what to go for first.
I know.
You know what? I'm going to go for some of the chicken.
Okay.
Star of the show. Piece with a little bit of that skin, the sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce is where it's at.
It really is.
Chicken is perfectly cooked. Nice and moist, still very, very juicy.
Yeah.
The skin is really well rendered. I almost don't want to cut into this potato. It might be one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Just beautifully browned. I love roasted potatoes.
So creamy, perfectly cooked. You taste a little bit of the browning on the exterior.
And of course, a little bit of that fennel.
The vegetables go really well together.
They really do. Ashley, thank you so much for putting all of this together. It's fantastic.
Oh, my pleasure.
Well, you want to make this chicken and vegetables at home, don't you? First, arrange potatoes, fennel, and carrots in the bottom of a preheated cast iron skillet. Place a spice-rubbed spatchcock chicken right on top of the veg, and then make a tangy herb sauce on the side. So from Cook's Country, another one-pan classic, cast iron chicken and vegetables. And potatoes. And onions. And delicious.
Love what you're watching? Take your cooking to the next level with our Essential membership. Get instant access to thousands of recipes, tips, techniques, product reviews, and step-by-step videos. Our members app allows you to search by ingredient, set dietary preferences, and save your favorite recipes. For those looking to level up, our newest feature, ATK Classes, offers more in-depth instruction led by ATK experts, so you can gain greater confidence in the kitchen. Start your free trial by visiting the App Store or going to americastestkitchen.com/YouTube today. A can opener is a relatively small single-use gadget, but I have surprisingly strong reactions to this lineup. There's only one type of can opener anyone should ever have.
And I know that you are not alone in that, Julia. We tested this lineup of 11 can openers. The price range was $8 to $55. Ooh. And these are the cans on which we tested them, these tiny little 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, because they have tight curves inside that lid that you have to get around with your can opener. And this 28-ounce can of tomatoes, wider, softer, gentler curves. And then we did black beans and tuna as the in-between points.
Makes sense.
There are two types of can openers here. Everybody knows how to use these.
Yeah.
These are super familiar.
Very intuitive.
You attach it to the top. When you press down and the blade punctures, you feel that click.
You know you're in.
You know you're in. You go all the way around like so. You know you're done because the lid either sinks down a little bit or flips up like that.
That's it.
So the pros are just that it's so familiar, so simple to use, and it gives you all this sensory feedback. The cons are that you end up with this sharp lid. A lot of people don't like that. Sometimes the cutting wheel will dip down into the contents of the can, so it can get a little schmutzy and you might have to clean it a little bit. And some of our testers dislike the fact that you really have to press hard all the way around the can to keep the opener engaged with the can, which you don't have to do with the other type. Do you want to demonstrate the safety openers?
Yeah, you're gonna have to walk me through it though.
Okay, so this one attaches to the side. So you angle it down to the side.
All right.
Like
so you put the cutting edge underneath the rim. All right, I think I'm there.
No, I'm not sure you are.
No, I'm not
No?
there. Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
So you don't get the sensory feedback from that.
Oh, you
right?
really don't.
You don't hear that little click. You don't hear that little escape of air. You don't necessarily know once you're done all the way around.
Oh, you really don't.
No. You just have to kind of guess and hope for the best, and you lift it up. The lid comes with it, as you see.
I kinda like
no
that.
sharp edges. And if there's something left in the can when you're done cooking and you want to store it in the fridge, the lid is intact. You can just pop it right back
Oh,
on
wow.
there for storage. Testers did identify a couple of factors for either type that were important. Number one is you want the longest driving handle you can get, regardless of which type it is. A lot of them were around 3 inches. Some of them went as big as 3.5 inches. Second, you want to make sure that you have good, soft, easy to grip handles because you got to hold them down tight while you're opening the whole can, and it just makes it more comfortable and more secure. There were recommendations in both categories.
Okay.
If you want something that's really simple, really intuitive, you want to stick with a traditional can opener, that one is the OXO Good Grip soft-handled can opener. It's this one. $17. If you want to go for the safety can opener so that you don't have those sharp edges on the lid, that's this one. This is the Fissler Magic Can Opener. It's $30.
Okay. Thanks, Adam. This was interesting.
Did I change any opinions that you had before?
Maybe. I'm gonna need a little more practice with this newfangled safety type to make sure I like it, because I'm a traditionalist. But there is something here.
The jury is still out, but you're willing to try.
Yep. There you have it. If you're in the market for a new can opener, for the traditional type, look for the OXO Good Grip soft-handled can opener, just $17. Or if you like the safety style, look for the Fizzler Magic can opener at $30.
Hamburger Helper was launched in 1970 by General Mills, and it was an immediate hit. More than a quarter of all U.S. households purchased a box within its first year. Hamburger Helper is really simple. Each shelf-stable box contains a sauce packet and a starch like pasta or rice. To make it, you cook ground beef, add the contents of the box and some liquid, and then let the whole thing simmer until tender. From the start, it was positioned as a quick and affordable dinner. During the 70s, more women were joining the workforce, and convenience in the kitchen was important. As a result, most of the early advertising was targeted at women and mothers. But as a sign of the changing times, a brand relaunch in 2013 targeted younger men. At Cook's Country, we were inspired by the nostalgic flavors of Hamburger Helper in creating our recipe for Cheeseburger Mac.
We'll get you right back to the video. Check out Cook's Country's newest book, The Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook.
Over 16 seasons and more than 600 recipes are condensed into this cookbook, jam-packed with every recipe we feature on the show, plus stories, tips, and reviews.
Go on the road with Cook's Country and tour the U.S. through food. Get inspired by dishes from restaurants, regions, and chefs all over America.
All in this one convenient cookbook.
To order your copy of the Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook, scan the QR code or visit cookscountry.com to continue your Cook's Country journey.
Combining ground beef and macaroni in a casserole dish to make a simple, hearty supper is an American tradition. And you can find recipes for Johnny Marzetti or American goulash that date back to the 1920s. But today, Morgan's going to show us an updated version of this classic pairing.
That's right, Julia. Today, I'm taking the best flavors of a cheeseburger and packing them into mac and cheese.
Like a cheeseburger mac.
Exactly, a cheeseburger mac. Now, I do want to lean hard into the cheeseburger side of this, so I do want to give the beef a little love and attention. So I'm starting with a tablespoon and a half of water. And to that, I'm adding a teaspoon of pepper.
A little flavor?
A half teaspoon of salt. A little more flavor. And then a half teaspoon of baking soda.
Aha.
So this actually helps keep the meat nice and moist when I cook it, so I can brown it without it getting pebbly. So I have 1 pound of 85% lean ground beef. 85% is very rich, but also not dry. So if you do 90%, it can be a little bit pebbly. So I'm just gonna combine this fully, and I'm just gonna get in there with my hands. It's really just about getting that baking soda evenly in there. So this takes 15 minutes. I'm gonna wash my hands, let it rest. It's just at room temperature, and then we'll start cooking.
All right.
Julia, our beef has been marinating for 15 minutes. Now, it doesn't really look any different, but that's done a lot of work in that time. So here I have a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I've been heating it in a 12-inch broiler-safe skillet, and you can see it's just about smoking. I'm over medium-high heat, so in this goes. I'm just gonna break this up, get it into nice small bits in my macaroni. I want it to get well browned, which will take 6 to 8 minutes. I'm gonna let this keep going. I'm gonna every so often break it up and just make sure it's a nice small pieces. But while that cooks, let's talk cheese. So I've got 2 kinds of cheese here. I've got 8 ounces of extra sharp cheddar, and I have 8 ounces of American. And so I'm gonna use them both because they're both gonna play different roles in this. So the cheddar cheese is gonna add a nice, really intense, sharp cheddar flavor, while the American's gonna add a really lovely creaminess.
There's real no difference in flavor between yellow and orange cheese. The difference is they add a little bit of a natto coloring to the orange cheese.
So you can see I'm grating it myself. Now I tend to do this with almost all cheese. I think it makes for a creamier product. When I pre-shred it, it's often packed with a starch that keeps it really a little starchy.
That's it, a cellulose.
Yes, exactly, and I want it creamy. Now the American I'm just gonna chop. So you could shred this if you wanted, but I feel like when you chop it, you can actually get like some nice chunks in there. It just melts so well. It has these emulsifiers in it that actually help prevent sauces from breaking.
Yep.
Now, I am gonna actually pull out a half cup of each of these. So 8 ounces ends up being 2 cups each, so it's really about a quarter of it. I'm gonna save this for something later, and I know if I don't pull it out now, I will forget all about it. There we go, so that's for later. And the rest of this, these other 1.5 cups, are gonna come right in here. Honestly, we are looking pretty good here.
That looks great.
So now, time to bring in the mac.
Okay.
I do have some liquids for cooking it. So here I have a 1.5 cups of water. Add this gently. It might get a little splatter. And then I have a cup of whole milk, which is gonna add a little extra creaminess. And now I'm gonna add 8 ounces of elbow macaroni. So this is about half a box. We did try using the whole pound because I always love using the whole pound, but the skillet got way too full. And this is plenty to feed a family. One thing I love about this dish, it all comes together in one skillet. It's a very easy cleanup, my kind of food. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil. I'm still over medium-high heat, so you can see it simmering. So now I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna turn this heat down to medium-low. I'm gonna let it cook until the macaroni is just al dente, which will take about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go in there once halfway and give it a nice stir.
Okay.
It's been 5 minutes, let's check this out. So again, we're looking for just al dente. Just a touch of crunch, but not bad.
Okay.
And it's not quite done cooking. So, still over medium-low heat, and I'm gonna add in that cheese from earlier. This is the American and the cheddar.
Goodness.
I know, right? It's like piled high. Epic amounts of cheese.
It is kind of epic.
Yeah, I'm like, I want the epic cheese, the epic cheeseburger mac. Then I also have a 1/2 cup of finely chopped onions. I've got a 1/4 cup of finely chopped pickles. No, I feel like half the fun of a cheeseburger is the toppings, and I'm like, let's lean into that. Let's go big. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. I've got a tablespoon of Worcestershire, which is gonna also enhance that meatiness, so it's gonna play with the beef. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. And I'm just gonna stir this in until the cheese is nice and melted. It's gonna take about 2 minutes. I'm still over medium-low heat. This is when that macaroni is gonna finish cooking. All those cheeseburger toppings are gonna get in there. Okay, so everything's nice and melted in here. And I have that cheese I set aside. And I'm gonna sprinkle this over top, just nice and evenly. Like, you know, what else do you need? A little more cheese in your cheeseburger mac. So I'm gonna put this under the broiler. It's gonna be 6 inches from the broiler element. And I'm gonna let it go until that cheese is just melted and nice and a little bit spotty brown. It's only gonna take about 2 minutes, so I don't wanna step away from it. Ooh. I know.
Oh, that is a cheese crown, all right. Just a little burnished in spots.
I know, I love the little spots. Those are like some good nuggets in there. So it is a little molten cheese right now, so we're gonna let it cool 5 minutes and then we get to eat.
Okay.
Been 5 minutes, and we are about ready to serve.
It's eating time.
It's eating time, but I do wanna dress it up. I wanna drive home this cheeseburger mac concept a little bit more.
I love it.
I'm just gonna sprinkle with a few more finely chopped pickles and a few more onions. Nice browning in here, so that spotty brown. Look at how creamy that is.
All right.
Time for us to dig in.
This is really good. This right here is what I'd call a guilty pleasure. This is straight comfort food. It tastes like a really cheesy cheeseburger. But then you have the bulk of the macaroni underneath it to make you feel full.
Yeah, I feel like you get this perfect balance of cheeseburger and mac and cheese. They came together in a beautiful hybrid.
They really did.
Yeah, the pickles add a nice little pop, a little crunch. Same with the onions. You get this nice texture throughout. I feel like my favorite part is the American cheese. I'm like, it's so creamy, it's so cheesy in a way only American cheese can do.
Morgan, I love the flavors of this dish, and it's just so satisfying. Thank you for showing me how to make it.
Thank you so much for cooking with me.
If you want to make this cozy, comforting version of macaroni and cheese, start by tossing the ground beef with baking soda before cooking. Cook the pasta with the sauce in the skillet until al dente, and finish under the broiler with extra cheese. From Cook's Country, a satisfying one-pan dinner cheeseburger mac. You can find this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with select episodes and our product reviews at our website, cookscountry.com/TV. Oh, this is definitely like a family dinner. If you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free trial of our ATK Essential membership.
While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app. So, what are you waiting for?